Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, the research industry's longest-running videocast/podcast, which for 12 years has presented a look virtually every week at a top story that is important to members of the research industry. My name is Bob Lederer, and I'm in my 28th year as the respected voice in market research and was recently honored for a second consecutive year by SMR with its Insight 250 award. It seems like one of the new and hot trends among important research companies is a renaming of their organization. Last week, the newly merged and integrated Information Resources, Inc. and NPD rebranded themselves as Circana. 2 weeks ago, the Schlesinger Group announced it's heretofore going to be known as SAGO. Now, that was actually in the works for some time, before the company welcomed new CEO Reed Cundiff last November. We spoke to Reed about SAGO, how and why the name came about, and more. He began by explaining that the research that was conducted was both qual and quan in order to identify meaningful and appropriate new branding for Schlesinger Group.
Actually, a pretty similar process of figuring out how we wanted to rebrand that we walk our clients through, right, and have been as an industry for decades. So yes, there's some qualitative work that we'd want to do to be able to understand, hey, when we put a few options out, what territories do they occupy in the minds of respondents? How do they think about them? Are there ingoing assumptions, positive or negative, that you're dealing with? And then in particular, once you feel like you've got a good final set, then doing quantitative work to compare them relative to one another and see applicability to the industry, likability, necessary perceptions that might be linked to them. So that's certainly the side that I think most of us are going to be really familiar with. At the same time, and honestly, just as importantly, there's work that we do from a technical perspective, from a legal perspective, making sure that we'd have the right and flexibility to be able to use the name and the brand in the way that we want everywhere that the company operates. And so that was great work that, as you mentioned, Bob, for the vast majority of it predates me, but I was happy to be able to just digest, understand, and get on board with the direction the business was going in. So I joined Schlesinger for three main reasons. Number one, you and I have both known Steve for a number of years, an icon in the industry, and the culture that he and even going back to Sarah, his mom, the founder of the business, have created at SAGO is fantastic. And the more I go deeper into my career, the more important culture becomes for me. The second thing is I really felt like I had an opportunity to learn from looking at this industry from a different lens. And so, as you know, I spent a lot of time on the client side. I spent some time at large agency, and now I had the opportunity to be able to look at the industry from a little bit different lens, really from the foundation of what we do to be able to generate insights and drive impact. So I thought it was a great learning experience. And then the biggest thing is I am a sucker for a business transformation, and the opportunity to be able to continue what Steve and the team have put in motion, particularly over the last 3 or 4 years, has been just a great opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. I think the agreement that I talked about with Steve and our ownership and our leadership team were that we really wanted to continue the path that the company had set upon in, really starting in 2018, 2019, and going through some of the acquisitions that the business had made. And so the way I think about it is we had assembled some great raw materials, great teams, really good solutions. And we now need to work on the recipe of how those things fit together and really start cooking and make sure that our clients see the benefit of the integration of the variety of different ways that we can connect human answers to business questions. So I think that the reason that you want to go through the kind of rebrand that we're just starting off on is because there is something that you want to signal to your clients, that you want to signal to the industry that's different. There are a lot of fantastic clients that we have that have been working with us for literally decades and know us almost exclusively for providing fantastic in-person focus group facilities. And we still do that. We certainly want to make sure that folks continue to leverage our expertise and capability there. And at the same time, we want to signal to the market the breadth of solutions that we provide and the way we've transformed and evolved as a company, right? So when you do that, you need to reflect that transformation. And so that's why Schlesinger Group is now SAGO. So our new brand reflects the speed and simplicity and action we want to demonstrate in helping our clients through what I believe certainly is a new age of insight. There is the what you would all expect as a typical campaign to be able to make sure that there's really good awareness about the change, so people don't wonder where Schlesinger Group went. We don't wonder who the heck SAGO is. So of course, yes, we're trying to use every tactic that we can, right? Being just out and available and discussing. In fact, Steve at a place like SampleCon right now, Isaac Rogers at Qual 360 as well. That we want to make sure that we get out there and make sure that people understand both tactically the name change, but then just as importantly, that kind of the ethos behind the company, right? So where we started 56 years ago around Sarah Schlesinger's kitchen table, right? That belief in human insights powering business decisions remains front and center to us as a business. That's the tightrope walk we have to make is, are we evolving our methods? Are we evolving the breadth of solutions that we provide? Yes. But is the core value and focus of the business, right? That focus on integrity and quality, that's something that we need to demonstrate every single day in every project that we do with every client. And so that's where the real work is, Bob, is making sure that that shows up in how we engage with our clients in the industry. Bob, I think simpatico is actually a great term to use for how Steve and I are working together. We were really clear from when we first started talking last summer that Steve was not looking for a carbon copy of Steve. And good luck finding that, by the way. He was looking for someone who could come in and in a complementary way help figure out how to move the company forward through its next stage. And so the experiences that Steve and I have had in business are actually same industry, but pretty different. Again, from working at a business like Microsoft, from running the Americas at Kantar, now coming in here, very different than Steve's experience for almost 25 years running Schlesinger Group. But at the same time, the values that we share, the way in which we like to interact with our team members and our people, just as similar as can be. And so while we may operate in different ways, we may have slightly different competencies, the way we view the world and the way we want to take this business couldn't be more aligned.
That's a wrap for this edition of the Research Business Daily Report. We encourage you, as we always do, to become an RBDR Patreon supporter, which means whether you're an individual or a company, agreeing to provide a monthly contribution to RBDR, perhaps $5 or $10 if you're an individual, or $25 or more if you're a business. Either and both help us maintain the excellence of our reporting. Please visit RBDR's exclusive crowdfunding platform at patreon.com/RBDR. When you get there, you can select whatever level of support makes sense to you. Whatever that may turn out to be, we thank you in advance. We hope you have a good research day, and we will be seeing you back here soon. Until then, please stay safe.